Okay, Rajeshwari, first things first, thank you very much for doing this for me because I love capturing people's success stories, what they've done with us, what did they come with, and how was the overall experience of the program? What did you pick up? What did you resolve? How much did you resolve? And share it with everyone because everybody should know that healing is absolutely possible and you don't really have to live with your conditions lifelong. So thank you for recording this with me. I'm going to make it very interactive and ask and fire questions at you, and feel free to share whatever you want. And this goes up on my YouTube and Instagram. Okay, so first things first, Rajeshwari, what were the issues you came to us with? How did you discover us? What made you sign up? If you could just share all of that.
So I discovered you, of course, on Instagram.
Yeah.
So I've been following you for some time. And I had to self-discover that at some point, like I've been suffering with this condition, not knowing what it was. And this is post my child. And I felt I was not myself. I knew it. And when I went to a regular doctor, a practitioner, general physician, they said I was just overweight. My levels, they looked at my...
COVID, you said? They said it's COVID.
Yeah, it's I'm talking about post-COVID, right? So
yeah. Okay.
So they look at my chart, they'll be like, oh, you're overweight. You need to go walk, you need to lose weight, and you'll be fine.
Yeah.
And you're like,
standard response.
And then you want someone, right? Because you're like, if I could do that,
I would. Yeah.
You try and it's not working. It's not happening because everything is pink. You have zero motivation. And like, and that's when I'm like, I know a regular GP cannot help me. And I'm like, I need someone who's a specialist. So, and not many people were able to, like, everything looks fine on my chart. Like my blood work looked fine. So, except for, my cholesterols were high. I was, like my insulin level were high. And they were like, okay, you need to lose weight. And I think that's a regular response. And no offense to them. But I'm like, you're not finding out. And over a period of time, a friend of mine said, why don't you, she had someone she's working with. And that person is a functional medicine practitioner. And I'm doing the elimination diet with them. And they said, okay, because I have family history of diabetes. I'm like, I don't want to be diabetic. So they said you could reverse it and you just need to take the blood work.
Yeah.
Send me a questionnaire, which I filled out, of all my symptoms that I had. And I took the blood work, and I was a classic Hashimoto, individual. So I everything that said that, and I'm like, great, because and the feedback I was given was, oh, you observed yourself so well that I checked every box, not knowing that was Hashimoto. And the blood work was there, but unfortunately, I wasn't able to work with them to reverse the condition. And I'm like, then I hopped on to someone else, and then they took out everything from my diet. And I was like, okay, felt great. I lost like 10 kilos. I felt my best, but it's not sustainable.
It's not. So elimination, so much elimination, I don't believe in, Rajeshwari, because you can't sustain it. And obviously, if you stop eating most of the things, you will lose weight. You will feel great for a time being, but that's not your answer. Okay, that's not your answer. Your answer is something which you can do for the rest of your life sustainably, while feeling good, while enjoying food, while clearing and looking deeper into what caused those food insensitivities or intolerances, which I'll talk about. We'll go through your case. Yeah, but that's what my belief is entirely. Yeah.
So I did it for 2 months, and when there's a place where I had to introduce my foods back, and I was having reactions. I wasn't able to go back beyond the second food.
Yeah.
I was frustrated because your time frame is increasing because I'm not able to keep it.
Fix it.
And because then I'm like, okay, I can't do this anymore because everybody's eating food around me, and I am supposed to. I'm literally starving myself, right? I'm not eating, and there are only certain foods I can eat. They say the Hashimoto causes mood. Swings. No, the non-food also causes mood swings because you're not.
If I don't get my favorite foods for a week, I am going to be depressed. Simple. I can't do without food. Food is joy, right? You have to eat. You can't just keep eliminating. Doesn't work.
So that was frustrating. And then I'm like, I sat down with my husband. I'm like, you know what? I need to do this program. By then, we decided. And I know everybody, and I think you acknowledge it, and I think everybody does, that it's It's not where you pay 10,000 rupees and, it's not, that's not the program. The program is expensive, but this was to do with my health. Yeah. And I mean, I think we don't blink an eye when we want some fancy bag, we want clothes, we want everything, but, and I don't do a hospital bill. Like, that was my thing. It's like, if this is my capital to not go to a hospital and get myself admitted, I'm doing this. And that's the understanding both of us came with. Because and the only logic for me was, if I don't do it now, you could always not do it. I mean, you could always say, no, I can't do it. But then you're going to constantly be like, these are like, you're like few drops, into an ocean kind of thing. Your expenses are going to be, much higher than this if I felt like if I didn't do it right now.
Yeah.
And I started, and I knew what I wanted, and it was for me to fix my health. It was not to lose weight, because I think my byproduct of this whole thing was I had gained so much weight that I don't feel myself. That's true. But I'm like, I can always lose weight, but if my inside is not going to be fixed, I cannot fix weight anymore.
Yeah, because inflammation, lots of inflammation, it will make you keep on putting weight, and you can't stop it. You can't stop that trajectory. Even if you stop eating, you starve yourself, you can't lose. It becomes that way, Yeah.
So for me, it was like, and when you gave me the blood work, and I think my zinc profile was very low, and we've done a couple of tests, and it said a lot about, because there's no, what it was, what I was, and I'm like, this makes sense, because this was more like you are fighting a battle where you can't explain it to somebody, like to a lay person. How do you explain what's going on in your body? You can't, because they're like, you're just like, when you speak about something which nobody knows about, they feel you are like just
making up things in your head.
Yeah, it's like in your head, it's cartoon brain, it's just a normal thing.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what? I need to speak to a person who understands me. And with Surabhi, when I started the program, trust me, that was it. I'm like, I did not have to, I wasn't forced to explain myself. Someone said, you know what, I understand you. I'm like, that was the biggest relief, because you were criticized when you told people this. They thought you were blowing it out of proportion. Like, think of it. Like, for me, it was post-pregnancy, I put on weight. People thought I was lazy. I was not ready to move. The inflammation was something nobody understood about. I had zero energy by 11 o'clock in the morning. I couldn't, like, though I slept for 10 hours, I wouldn't get like good quality of sleep. Constant irritable. My joints were paining. My feet were,
swollen.
They were like to an extent where getting out of bed in the morning was a task by itself. And when I say all these things right now, even if I was someone who did not have go through this, had someone else told me this, I would have been like, she's just overdoing it, right? Like, she just needs. Yes, today I can empathize with any woman who's going through this, because I know it's a struggle, and that's what I did. And today I'm really, really happy that my Hashimoto's is in remission. So I'm like, that is, never could I ever. I thought I had to live with it for life. That was the day Surabhi and I discussed. I think I called like 10 people, say, you know what, it's in remission. And someone who didn't know what it was, like, what is it? I'm like, it's okay. I don't want to explain.
Tracking backwards. It's lots of inflammation. So Rajeshwari, because you had Hashimoto's, which is an autoimmune, I want to talk about your labs a little bit. We also started seeing why you have inflammation. So the GI map, which was your infection testing, gave up a lot of information about you, right? You had staphylococcus infection, you had candida infection. Probably did candida, which is the fungus infection, did that make you feel very hungry earlier before the program? Did you get a lot of hunger pangs, sugar pangs?
I don't know if you know, but you did so the day I decided to do your program was after I did a candida video on Insta.
Oh, like that. Oh, yeah.
Like, that was like the decision maker, because it's like, you had it, and I had a self-doubt that I had candida. And then, of course, when we did our GI, it came out the high score. Yes, I was eating food all the time, sugar
all the time. Particularly, that makes you crave all of this. And your insulin levels were, by the way, diabetic, 22. Literally, high
Yes.
insulin, literally, like that's a lot of level. And ESR, of course, which shows infection was very high also. So we had to test you for infections. And candida, is one infection which doesn't just give you uncomfortable symptoms, but also makes your immune system go crazy. Like it's trying to release that candida out of your body and it can't balance it back. So it starts to fire so badly and you feel it. Like you feel that inflammation all the time. So candida is like extremely common and very annoying. You also had a lot of low bacterial strains which we need in our body to fight off a lot of infection. So that you had a very high immune system response. The secretory IgA came so high. So a lot of your symptoms became very clear why they're happening because of the infections and overgrowths. And this is what causes inflammation at the end of the day, right? So food intolerances develop because of this, Rajeshwari. And I also want everybody who's watching this video to understand that anytime you have infections in the body, they are going to compromise your gut lining, and whatever you eat starts to leak out and starts becoming toxic. And your immune system starts to create antibodies. And that is how you keep on eliminating diets. Elimination diets are what you keep eliminating everything that you're eating because everything is giving a response that you don't want. But is that your answer? I don't think so. You can't eliminate everything out of your life. What will you eat? And then you again become sick. For the time being, you're looking good, maybe 3, 4 months. But then deficiencies will start to develop because you're not eating anything, right? And that will create its own sickness later. So it's like a vicious cycle. You don't know what to do. You just keep trying different things and nothing works. So you have to look at your microbiome. It's such a critical part of healing. If we don't look at your infections and what strains we need, what we don't need, what is the kind of imbalance, whether are we digesting food properly, are we absorbing food properly? If you don't look at these aspects, all the diets fail. Simple. It's as simple as that.
Couldn't agree more because I think the answers would. I mean, I feel it's all why for me it was it answered a lot of unknown questions. Like I was feeling all this. Like think of it, eating a loaf of bread just by myself. Like I would crave. Like
Oh.
I'd be like, yeah, seriously.
Yeah. But that's what candida does. It makes you eat a lot of carb and sugar because it feeds on
Yeah.
it, right? So you constantly feel hungry, constantly because they're feeding on it and they make you eat it. It's like
And
that.
you're not hungry for salads. You're not hungry for
Yeah.
anything healthy.
Carbs,
You're
all carbs,
hand
sugar.
bouncing towards the carbs, the
Yeah.
sweets.
Yeah.
Even if you like, I'm not ashamed to say this, but there have been times when I've ordered food in because I'm like craving it so bad. There hasn't been food at home, with to my want.
Yeah.
So I've like ordered in like say a brownie or a waffle, and I'm like, yes, now it feels nice.
Yeah.
It's
Makes
actually
you feel
what,
happy.
yeah,
Because that's
what
what
that,
the body is craving from inside. The fungus is craving it, to be very honest. And this is one thing nobody understands. Like nutritionists also can't understand. They'll keep figuring out, कि क्या हो रहा है, इतना क्यों खाना है, इतना क्यों blood sugar भी ठीक है, सब कुछ ठीक हो रहा है, but इतनी भूख क्यों लग रही है? This is it. It's not just about balancing. It'll make you crave. Even if you want to eat healthy, you cannot. It's not about your willpower. It's not about your hormones. It's just pure candida infection waiting there to eat all that food and making you eat it. It's so crazy. I mean, yeah. I mean, imagine what all things can change our body, and our willpower. So quite amazing. But tell me, Rajeshwari, so yeah, these are your symptoms, infections. But how was the program? What was your experience like? What did you do in these last 4 months? Where are you now today with your health?
I'll tell it. The one thing I want to tell everybody is I wasn't able to walk. Leave alone a kilometer. Kilometer is a long walk you're talking about. I'm talking about just go down a flight of stairs up and down was a task.
Because it was
I
tiring. Fatigue, a lot of fatigue.
Lot of fatigue, lot of pain, lot of swelling in the ankle.
Yeah.
I wasn't able to like take a step. Exercise was something of the past. I wouldn't like. I've tried. I've literally tried. And like today, I'm gonna go make it. I'm gonna walk like at least like 1 kilometer, and I will come back. And next day, I would have so much pain. I have cried not wanting to get out of bed. Like I would be awake, but if I had to get out of bed, I'd be like, okay, no, I have to wait it because the moment I place my feet on the ground, there's shooting pain up. And something I did not enjoy at all. And this was not something I had for like a month or two. Talking about for the last 4 years. And it only increased with time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I've told Sister Surabhi, like there's one day I just ran down this flight of stairs. I mean, fag end of the program. And it felt like, wow, I felt like, I felt like someone else. Because every time I walked down, I've always taken support because I was so scared. There was so much pain. I was trying to balance it off with, putting the weight on my upper body versus my leg. I am someone who loved, driving. And after this, I wouldn't want it. Like I would ask someone else to drive me because driving was no more a pleasure because my feet, my ankles were hurting so much. And these are things that changed like immediately, right? And it did not happen instantaneously. It took 3.5 months into the program for me to see the results I saw. And I'm sure it's very different for everybody, especially my ankle not paining. And today I'm able to go work out. And I will tell you, that is my meditation. Like for me to go work out is my meditation. And not being able to do that for some time was frustrating because I couldn't let out my energy elsewhere. And today I'm able to work out. And every day, I mean, especially when I started working out, every day in the morning I would get up thinking I would have some pain. And when it would be a surprise every day for me. Like I would keep my feet, oh, not feeling pain.
No paining.
No, and one day I was like, I didn't realize I had done up and down the flat, stairs about 50 times. And I did not have pain. I'm like, these were like no pain is something. And I know I've been recording my sleep for over a period of time. And the time I spoke to Surabhi, I was like, Surabhi, I have a score of 84, 85 because I had quality sleep. Like I had scores of 40, 42, where I've slept, but I've not had quality sleep. Like I got my quality sleep now. If I go to bed at 9, I don't know what's happening till I get up in the morning.
Wow.
Which so I've not had that in a long time. And that is something I appreciate. Quality of sleep, I mean, I don't know, quality of sleep, no pain, are great. I mean, you realize your personality changes.
Yeah, it does. You feel so confident and vibrant and happy and full of joy and full of energy. Everything.
Your energy level is skyrocketing. The moment you have your energy because you're your chirpy self again. Nothing is, you don't have weights that are pulling you down.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, you're in a zombie state. At least for me, it was that I was in a zombie state when anyone saying, I'm like, I have no energy. I'm like, everybody complain. Like, you're a couch potato. I'm like, say what you want to say. I can't move. I'm not good.
Absolutely. And it's not that you don't want to, it's just that your body doesn't allow it because there's so much happening inside which nobody else can understand, right? They can't see it. You can feel it. Even you can't see it, but you know what's happening. Something is happening. Something is off. It's just that. But how's the family taking it? How did they respond to this change?
The one person who was absolutely, worried about me was my mother-in-law because, you have to understand, she's 75 and she would run up and down the stairs and I would be like, I can't. And, she knew the pain I was going through and someone who's seen me, from the time I've been a kid. So, and for her to know that I wasn't active, I wasn't myself, actually did worry. Because I was irritable, I wasn't able to be my best with my child. She knew that and she's really, really worried about me because I think more than anybody, it was her who was worried because she knew it had such an impact on my health. And she sees the difference. She absolutely sees the difference because, I was so heavily dependent on her because I wouldn't be able to get up and she would. And then 75, her doing it, that was like, what's happening here? I mean, I should be running and doing things for her.
You stay together, is it?
Yes, we do.
Together.
She was my biggest support system. No matter what, she'd be like, tell me. She didn't understand what's going on. She was like, you need something, tell me, let me help you. That's that because it was hard because we couldn't explain it either. I'm like, it's pain. I couldn't explain why it was what it was. I had good days, I had bad days. So I really wouldn't be able to explain it to her. Of course, my husband always thought I was irritable because he knew that. And he's like, okay, I don't know if this is becoming your personality. He would try, lighting the mood. But I'm like, just stop. Don't. Because the pain is much like even a joke is something I couldn't enjoy.
Your personality changes a lot with inflammation. You become irritable, moody, angry, depressed. So many things happen, right? Brain fogged. I mean, these are like common things. But talk about your brain fog because I see a big story there.
Yes, yes.
Extreme level of brain fog that you had.
So the, one of the major reasons, like one of yes, pain, aches, all that was part of the whole Hashimoto's. But
Yeah.
major reason why I signed up was I had so this was during last May. My husband and my daughter were traveling, and I was by myself in the house, and I had a couple of instances that happened, and just I was sure that, and my mother-in-law also was traveling, so it was just me with my dogs, and uh, one was I left the gas on for half an hour. So I only found out it was on when I came back into the kitchen to fetch the water.
Scary.
And that was scary. That was like the most scary part.
Yeah.
And two, I slept one night having left all the doors open in the house. Like I hadn't locked a single.
Forgot to lock them.
I forgot to lock. I went to bed, I got up, I had to let the dogs out in the morning. I was surprised to see that all the doors were open. And that was, the most scary. Third was when I forgot to feed my dogs. I mean, come what may, that is one thing I would never skip.
Yeah, they're children. I mean, you don't forget to feed your children.
And that it tore me emotionally because I was like, at least my daughter could have gotten it. You can go ask. Like dogs, they bark, they whine, but you need to understand what they're asking for, right? And the patient of habit too, and they're like, it's their food time. I had skipped, and it was much later, like in the middle of the night, I realized that I hadn't fed them. And that is when I was like, okay, something like I would have alarms like that. These are the three major brain fogs because when you live together, someone else is doing it for you. Like if you forgot to turn off your light, someone else is turning it off for you. When you forgot to feed it, someone else is doing it for you.
So it doesn't register that this is happening until you really are by yourself.
Yes. And when the shock is when you live by yourself and this happens, and that's when you're like, you realize the gravity of the situation. Because that, let me tell you, I've had reminders and I've yet forgotten to do things.
Wow.
So yeah. So I mean,
brain fog. Yeah, this is extreme level brain fog.
You're beating yourself inside. You're like,
Yeah.
you want to put your foot forward, but something is stopping you and you don't understand what it is. And if you've not gotten a diagnosis, you don't have anybody helping you.
Yeah.
It's you against the world.
Yeah. You're lost for life. Actually, it's like a lost cause, Don't know what to do with all that is happening inside. You just have no answers entirely.
So for me, it's extreme brain fog, and that was like, okay, beyond this like I don't know what else can happen for me to like take it more seriously, right? So it's like, okay, this is it, and I need to fix it, and this is a time my husband and I, we sat as a family and we decided that this was priority. My health was priority, and we would do anything to, it's not right to say fix it, to do what it is to bring it back to balance so that I function best, and that way we live together. So of course what I do affects the others.
Yeah.
So that's important.
Yeah.
So that was it. I think today I'm a happier person. I'm myself. This is me. I talk a lot. I chirpy. I have a lot of energy.
Back to yourself.
Back to myself. I'm not a grumpy person anymore.
Yeah.
So I mean, like a drop of a hat, I will be upset, angry, irritable. I don't have that anymore, and I'm happy about it because I see the difference in how so that has changed, and I can consciously tell you that I'm a better parent in the last 4 months versus what I was because
you back within yourself. I mean, you back being who you are. I think that's super critical. And okay, Rajeshwari, the next question I have for you is just how was the overall program with Surbi? Your experience overall with the team, working, our process, the ease of doing the program, the sustainability of it. Just, I want you to just talk about your experience, like in a very constructive, candid feedback, even if it's negative. But I want to hear what were the ups and downs, pros and cons, all of that. Okay, so one of Surabhi and I
I mean, I had a great time. Like, I'm so glad that, I got to work with her for the last 4 months. It was a great experience. And like I mentioned before, I felt, getting I mean, my last meeting, I was actually pretty emotional with her because I was like, I couldn't believe that, like, the end of the program. She was fantastic. The program itself was great because, to start off with, right, everything was given ahead of time. So that is the readiness of it. Like, it wasn't like you're surprised with something. So the blood test, the reports, the scheduling of the sessions itself. Like, she had given me all the even before we
A
started
month
the
before.
session.
Yeah, you get it a month before, literally.
But if you're an organized person, you have it on your calendar. So there is, you're not going to miss anything. There's not going to be any confusion. So it's there. So that's the organized part of it. And to start off the session, the very nice thing about Surabhi is she'll hear you out. She'll hear, everything. She'll you explain it. There was me talking more than her and her listening. And end of it, she would explain what's happening. The introduction of all supplements that were required were given with explanations. She'd be like, why I need to do it, what would happen, what could be a symptoms, like possible side effect, what I should do, and like why, what, where,
for everything that's coming.
Everything
Yeah,
that's coming, and it was done in a slow manner. So it wasn't like, okay, if for example, if it was to do with my sleep, why I was taking it, how I would start off with it, when would it happen, and immediately after the session was over, I would get an email exactly with all the details. And for example, supplements that were needed for a much later session, like she would introduce it later, she would give it way in advance so I could procure it, because anyone who's doing the program will understand that most of the supplements are not from here. They have to be procured and it takes time for you to receive it. So that was a great preparatory work that happened for me. And just the fact that every time she'd be like, how are you feeling? Starting off with it, is it working? It's not working. How could you, up it? What could she do different to help me feel better? And, what's the time frame we're looking at to, see a difference? So all these were things that she would explain over a period of time, and why she was introducing, like, all supplements. If you, of course, we see a list of supplements. Right now it feels like a long list, but when you introduce it, it's like one at a time, and the priority of what you're fixing. There is a priority. Like,
everything is about introducing the right thing at the right time. If you don't know that and you are mixing up things, the program fails. Simple. It's all about doing it step by step and knowing what to do first and what not to do. So everybody can learn ye supplements khane hai, right? You can read up, gain knowledge. But if you don't know how to introduce, how to pull back, how to change, how to stop, when to introduce what, in what sequence, nothing works really. I mean, I think that's the key to a good program and the success of the program. So, but was it easy? What is overall all of this? Was it easy to do?
Let me tell you, it was easy for me because I had done something which was much difficult, which was illogical before. So
so this felt like easier.
Yeah, this was easier because I wasn't, for example, I wasn't eliminating something. For example, you do tell us that we soy, sugar, and nobody's saying nothing at all, right? And if I even slipped up, so one of the things that we'll ask you is like, okay, you have to do all these things. What percentage do you think you're following? So there have been times when I said, I'm 50% here. There was Diwali in between. I'm like, I'm failing this program for sure. There's a lot more sweets and stuff. So yeah, so she wouldn't make you feel like, OMG, you're not doing it, you're going to fail, right? You're like, we understand now. Can you try, making sure that you do these things? Go back on. And the human part of it is to know that you will slip. And I think it was the assurance that she didn't make me feel like, if you don't do it, you're going to fail this whole thing. You're not going to get back to what you want, right? And the focus was not weight loss. At every point of time, what was reassured is fixing my symptoms. Like,
heal. Body will fix the weight automatically over a period of time. It's all about that.
Yeah. So it was like, okay, first it's your sleep. If you don't have good quality sleep, then you're not going to able to, be able to function. So
Yeah, totally.
all the symptoms I had. So
Yeah.
what was prior? What symptoms were you going to focus first on? So she had a program for me where we are going to work on these first and then start
Yeah.
doing the rest. And again, introduction of supplements as well, because you want to how you're going to introduce it and how it's going to affect the other. I think
Right.
that's a science which I don't understand, but when she explained it, I was like, okay, makes sense to me. I'm going to follow it. That was the trust I had because uh, it's like you said, there are so many supplements. I can have 40 supplements at the same time, but it has to work.
Yeah.
And
Totally.
why you're doing that? Like if you're taking omega-3, when are you going to take it with? What kind of food are you going to pair it with to make sure you have the best results?
Yeah.
When are you going to have your vitamin D? When are you going to have your B12?
Yeah.
So, berberine, is that right?
Yeah.
Berberine. When are you going to take berberine? Where you start with a single dose and then how you increase it to multiple meals. So these are things. What you take before, what you take after.
Yeah.
What you take between your meals.
Yeah.
Like your digestive enzyme, why are you taking it in between your meals? I know right now it may seem, right now it feels, maybe someone listening to me might find it overwhelming, but this was done over a period of time, which became second nature. Yes, initially, if you're not used to taking, a supplement in between your meals, it is going to be a challenge. But when you get to the second week, it becomes a normal, part of your life. So,
and whatever said and done, Rajeshri, it's only for the healing period. Your body will naturally start to release all of this again, and you don't need it beyond a point. So it's just that healing period. We have to make that extra effort, remember things, and keep them on the table and have them at the scheduled time. But imagine you setting yourself up for success for the rest of your life. These 3-4 months, if you focus and you do this right, you heal, like you're done, and you go back to being your normal self, and then you don't have to do all this, right? It's just that you do it with a laser sharp focus, you do it right, and you heal. So it's worth it, I think, spending all that extra time, energy, even if you feel that ye kya ho raha hai.
I was because I did not get into the program thinking I want this Hashimoto's will be in remission. Remember, I did not come with that was not the
expectation.
I think for me, yes, that was not my goal. That was not the expectation.
Right.
I wanted to feel better. And when got the results, and when I know Survi said your Hashimoto's is now in remission, this was like I won a gold medal in something because it felt that great. That means right now we've done everything to make sure it is in remission.
Yeah.
Now I have to use this knowledge and this 4 months journey what I've learned out of this to make sure it stays in remission. It is now my work. It's not like I have been. Yes, entirely. I've been taught what I need to do. I have been to explained as to why, what, where, how, and if I cannot translate this knowledge into action, then this is on me and it's not on anybody else. So that is what I know right now. And like I said, I felt I had to when someone told me I had Hashimoto's and they say it's for lifelong, and you're like, oh, lifelong, this kind of a life.
Yeah, it's can't even imagine, like, living with brain fog and swollen ankles and acidity and whatnot. Not needed. So Hashimoto's is what? It's just an overactive immune system responding to so many things inside and then started to attack your gland. What we really have to do is understand why the immune system is reacting so much, right? So you have so many infections going on. You treat those infections and then you calm down your immune system slowly and steadily. You start to heal your body. It will stop attacking you. It's like so logical. Why do you really have to live with an autoimmune condition all your life when you actually can slowly and steadily balance it back? So we just need a tolerant immune system. We don't need an immune system which doesn't work or which overworks, right? And it's firing at us all the time. We just make it tolerant. And for that, we take these steps, so many steps that we've taken intelligently with full knowledge, with full lab work, and it can all just go away. So this is all that really happened. And so logical, right? Our body is also logical. It works in a certain way. We just have to understand it.
And the thing is, if it took you so long to, for your immune system to start attacking, and understanding also that it'll take you that long to reverse it back.
Balance back, yeah, it will. It's an effort.
If anyone thinks this is instant coffee, it's not instant coffee.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah. I did a
slow.
post 2 days back where I wrote, anybody looking for shortcuts, we are not for you. We don't do shortcuts. There are no magic pills we have. You have to work on your conditions and understand your body, and slowly and steadily you start to reverse all the damage that has happened. It's even 3 to 4 months, I think, is very quick, Rajeshwari, given the fact that people come to us so sick and they go back fixed in 3, 4 months. It's magical what your body is doing so quickly, right?
Yeah, so for me, this 4 months, some of the times, and during the session, right, when at least when we were ending the session, so we would go through the list of all that I had, like the symptoms. And for me, I would be like, I would like literally be like frowning and like, this is not me. Like, what are you talking about?
No longer.
But yeah, this is what I came with. Like when she said, oh, how's your brain fog? I'm like, what are you talking about? So to be because I don't know what you're talking about. Because it feels like for someone else, not yes. Right now, I don't remember the last time I had a brain fog.
Yeah.
So that's about it. But like I said, so these are symptoms, and it's different for everybody. And for me, this was a journey which fixed me. In the last 4 months, I results. Yes, I am working towards it because I feel my insulin. There are areas that yet have to be fixed, and Surabhi has given me a list of things I need to do.
Yeah.
And eventually, I will get back to her with my results so that she knows how I'm doing. But it's not like everything is. It's taking its course of time, and the most important things have been fixed, and it's only with. I'm guessing in another year, I am praying that all my lab work comes to within
Perfect.
the norm.
It will.
Yes,
it will.
perfect.
There is no way your body will not respond to the right things that you're doing. There is no way. It will. 100%. It just, some people take shorter time, some people take longer time. Depends on the damage, depends on how perfectly you do things and what your body allows. But it'll happen. So I'm very confident you're on the right track, and you've already seen so much difference in yourself, right? But thank you, Rajeshwari. This was a great enlightening session. A lot of discussions around what went right. I haven't really heard anything that has not been right. So that makes me think that maybe we're doing something right. If there is something you can, of course, say, I would love to also get feedback on something that didn't work.
I am very sure what it is. So I mean, like I understand, and this is for everyone to make their own decisions, right? So, like I said, the value of the package is higher, and it's one's decision as to what they wanted, and it is expensive. I'm not going to say it's not, but anything good comes, with the price.
Cost. Yeah.
That's to it, and
the value.
Yeah, the value to it, and what is the value you put to it is also important. Right? For me, my health. Yes, for me that was right now at this juncture. There's also an age factor. I am with time, my metabolism is going down. I'm not going to be able to recover as fast as I'm recovering today. I can always say later, but
the sooner you do it, the better it is. Truly. The sooner you do it, the body supports you faster. It's just that.
So everyone has to do it for their own reasons, and this is marketing is like what you need to do it for. And like I know for me with my life, and if I do not fix myself, it would affect my people around me. And I have a young child, and I want to be a parent who is fun to be around and not constantly snappy because my inner self is not here. So that's the whole thing. Right? Yeah. So this was mine. So I had a great time. I have in all honesty, this is not a marketing thing, but I have nothing negative to say because I think as a team, I think you all are very well organized. You respond, your response time is great. There's a method to what you do. There's a scientific backing to what you do. And for a person like me, I need to know why, what, where. And it answered those questions. I was not going to be blindly following something, and I've done it. I'm not trying to say no. And I think those experiences have made me understand that I need to know why I'm doing it. It's not like things happen.
And that's how you learn. That's how the program works also. You have to know why you're doing something. Otherwise, you'll forget. In life, you'll forget and you'll go back to your old ways. And then all this healing is gone. Like you're back to your inflammatory self. If you don't learn the whys of it, you have to learn how the body works, what works for you, why are you doing something. That's how you trust, right? That's how the trust builds. That's how healing happens. It'll be very, very educational that way. And I love doing that. I mean, I even do that on Instagram, right? You have to understand. Everything is not about me giving you tips. कि tips दे दो हम ठीक कैसे हो जाएं. उससे क्या होगा? First understand what is happening in your body, right? Then you correlate it with your symptoms, your body, your everything, your choices, your food habits, your lifestyle, and then see what works for you. It's always like that, you have to understand. If you don't understand, it doesn't work.
I had done a couple of, like I said, before coming to you, finally,
Yeah.
I've done a couple of things and I knew why, because I did not ask why I'm doing something, right? I said, okay, because the pain was so much, it was like, if you just leave my pain, I'll do anything.
Yeah.
That was the situation. But then you don't realize how much damage do you do to yourself.
Yeah.
And that's what I did. So I'm like, okay. I also, the other part which I realized was my body is not a clay that I could keep molding it. I'm like, it's kind of solidified. The plasticities happen. Like for the mold, it can't happen. So I need to do something where I don't damage myself further. And that was
that's very important. That's a very valid point you've made. You can't keep experimenting blindly and the body just when you waste time, energy, effort, you become demotivated, but you also end up damaging. That is true.
So I did not want to damage myself further. I have issues that I have to work with, and doing something which had no logic to it and no scientific evidence is based on it wouldn't help me do it. Like for example, like I said, when you spoke about Candida in your Instagram, I just realized that, and we had not done all, like I hadn't even signed up for the program, but I just felt like, oh my God, this is exactly what I was doing. And we got our GI map results. That's what I told Sylvie. I always knew I had Candida, but thanks for validating it with this GI. Because
it showed up.
I had very high scores of Candida. So.
Can't imagine how much inflammation is created because of these overgrowths. It's unbelievable, the extent of damage they do.
Because your mouth, because for me, the Candida, it starts with my mouth, right? Because I can't, like, anything slightly spicy is a lot spicy for me.
Spicy.
I feel the tongue is still numb, right? The feeling of numbness. The regular tongue. So.
You had discoloration of tongue, right? You mentioned in your forms, discoloration. All Candida, agreed. But glad, Rajeshwari, this was amazing. I'm so happy you're going back healed, happy, and the program worked wonderfully for you. And that's our objective with all our clients. We like taking on complex cases, few cases where we deep dive and person should go back happy. So I think that has worked well for both sides. And I wish you all the best for your life, for your health. Stay in touch. And I hope everybody who sees this video gains confidence that they can heal and they come and work with us. I would love that.
So you would feel, make it, I mean, to anybody who's watching this, I only tell you that fix yourself because your life is very important and you need to feel happy, you need to feel motivated in life. And this unknown symptoms to many can literally drain you down and make you feel, really low emotionally. And it's important that you take that effort. Take that effort for yourself. It's only 4 months, but these 4 months will absolutely change your life for the rest of your life. Wherever you are, it's going to change for the better. I can promise you that because it's done this to me, and I'm sure it's going to do that to many more people. And I'm waiting for it.
Yeah, thank you so much, Rajeshwari, for all your compliments, wishes, and your feedback. Makes me very happy and very proud. Thank you very much for your time.
I should be thanking you because you give me something I don't think money can buy. My happiness.
Thank you very much. It means a lot. Means a lot. And I'm sure Surbhi is going to be so happy seeing this video. So it means a lot. Thank you very much.